So I felt as I was getting ready to put this talk together, you know, a lot of ministers have a difficult time each year coming up with a talk for Mother's Day and Father's Day, because what is it that you want to hear? Do you want to hear about the angelic mothers of the world and all the great love that they attribute to us and all that pretty stuff wrapped up in a package? Is that what you want to hear about? If I asked you and said, we're going to have 2 sermons today. We're going to have a room where we just talk about all the good, all the angelicness of the mother. Or we're going to have another sermon in another room, and we're going to talk about the reality of motherhood, the realness of motherhood, what we feel and share with each other. Which room would you go to? Which room would you feel more fulfilled and learn more about your spiritual understanding and your connection to motherhood? Which room would that happen in? Well, I know for me, it's all about feeling. It's about showing up, being real, being authentic, being vulnerable. Those are the things today that help me to grow, to evolve. And I found this beautiful poem, don't know who she is, but she had this wonderful tribute to moms. Her name is Amy Young. And I wanted to share with it went viral, so that's the reason I picked it up. To those who gave birth this year to their first child, we celebrate you. To those who lost a child this year, we mourn with you. To those who have warm and close relationships with their children, we celebrate with you. To those who have disappointment, heartache, and distance with their children, we sit with you. And I'm sure there's so many other things that we could fill in here about the celebration and about the presence of holding that celebration for somebody that can't celebrate right now. That's what it's all about. That's living a life, an authentic life. Being real, feeling no matter what it is. Corey and I talked this morning about feelings of bad and feelings of good. But I'm learning as I evolve that there are no bad. There's no bad. Like the troubadours last week shared with us, it's just an absence. It's just a lack of the love. It's not bad. It's not bad. It's just the lack of the good. So when I found this song about Mother Earth, I just fell in love with it. Because Mother Earth has given us the examples of how to really live our life, just as Jesus did. The examples of what happens when we don't take care of something, when we are not nurturing and nourishing. And that's what's happened to Mother Earth. We have forgotten the love that she has for us, the love of all motherhood. And when I talk of motherhood, I am talking about you guys as well. Because we are both feminine and masculine. But Mother Earth, she cries with us. She helps us to cleanse. Look at all of the things that happen in the world when there's the burnings of cities and families lose their home, lose all of their material things. But what happens to them? It brings them back to their truth. It brings them back to life without the materialistic things that they're so attached to. And what happens when the renewal process starts and the trees show the first bloom in all of the char and all of the ashes? When that renewal begins and life begins again. So was it bad that all of that happened? There was a loss, yes. But was it bad? All it was another opportunity for another process of birthing. A new birth. And each time something happens that pulls us away from this divine nature of ours, what happens? We usually are presented with an opportunity to look to that divine nature. We may feel lost and lonely. We may feel victimized. And so it does. Sometimes it takes us back to rebirthing of our entire life. But Mother Earth is our example of our own lives. I brought in this today because I would like for all of you to take this, men included, because to take this home, and you have to do something, right? Yeah, you can leave it sit there on the desk or table or whatever and look at it. If that's how you want to live, if you want to live stagnated, and if you want to live and not begin a new growth, a new life, a new birth. So make that decision within yourselves that I'm going to take this and I'm going to water it and I'm going to place the seed in there, just as God did with us. We started out as this seed, and as we're nurtured and nourished, we grow and we expand. And the same thing happens to this little seed in here. You nurture it, you water it. And the ones that even go a step further and just love it, talk to it, place that energy of love around it, I guarantee you yours will grow that much prettier, because that energy will affect it. And that's all that life is. That same process of rebirth over and over and over again. And in each process, we have the opportunity to create this beautiful flower or not. It's your choice. It's your decision. It's like last week, it's your decision, right? To love. So Mother Earth is a living organism. She is a living organism. Love, honor, and respect her. Wow! So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him. Male and female created he them. So right here, God says he created male and female. Okay? So what does that say for us metaphysical students? It says that we are both male, we are wisdom, we are intellect, but we are also love and compassion. We are both of those. And when we bring them together, we balance that out. What happens to love without wisdom? And what happens to wisdom without love? Is your wisdom just of the intellect, where it's all masculine? Because that's what's happened to the world. We have gone, when the Industrial Revolution happened, that's what happened. The masculine became very heavy. It controlled the world. And everything that came about was brought about from the intellect, without the love. Forgetting about Mother Earth, and forgetting about the birth of cities and people that were going to be affected by not having the balance of love, the feminine nature, the female nature. So we lost that balance. We got out of whack. So what's happening now to the world is we are breaking up energies that have been created over our lifetime that are no longer serving us or the world. They're breaking apart. And that's what's going on. And we allow them to break apart. We allow them to disintegrate as we bring in the feminine with the love and the nurturing and the compassion, and then we balance that wisdom out. We lose the war. We lose the competition. We lose the power struggles. and we place the heart forefront. Yin should always come before the yang. The feminine should always come before the masculine. Because it's in the love that you make the decisions from a place of wisdom. So we balance those. Release your inner child. I can't talk about rebirthing without talking about the inner child. You know, so many of us have been so wounded and hurt from our growing up. A lot of us have suffered rape. A lot of us have suffered abuse. A lot of us have suffered the loss of children. I've lost 3 children. And today, I have to really pay attention to my inner little girl. That little girl that didn't get to be the mother. But that little girl that got to be the school bus driver that had all these children. Always around me. I had my life filled with children. That's what I'm grateful for. But that inner child, maybe she still feels unsafe. Maybe she doesn't feel secure yet. So I become the mother. I become the nurturer. And I help her to feel safe and secure. And when things come up that need to be addressed, I hug her and I hold her and I love her and I tell her it's okay. We need to pay attention to that little child within us that still feels wounded and alone. Because you're the parent now. And you can help her to feel safe. Help him to feel safe. By just paying attention to those wounds and loving them and playing with them. On a Wednesday night group, we played with our inner child. You know, we did the hokey pokey. I think I shared that with you. Now, that was a treat to watch us do the hokey pokey. But did we have fun? The ones that were there, did you have fun? Did you feel like a little child again? I know I did. I wasn't even ready to stop doing it. You know? And a lot of times when I feel really wounded and I feel those wounds coming up, I go to the park. I love the swing. Swing is one of my favorite things. So I go to the park and I swing. And that always helps me to let that little girl know. Because my mother died at 7. So the little girl in me didn't get to play and have a mother and have all of the normal world, so to say. So I take her out to play because she didn't get that. And she loves that. So become the mother of that little girl, that little boy within you. Return of the divine feminine. This is what's happening now, guys. The gates have opened wide. The divine feminine is present with us today. You know, people that have had all these wounds, and the Me Too movement is something that has had to happen. Everything that has not been healed is going to show up through our 4th dimension. It's going to start coming at us. And we're either going to pay attention to it and we're going to help the process of it healing, or we're going to go like this against it. And guess what? It'll just keep coming up. Keep coming up. So why all these movements are happening? Why all these candidates are coming up? You know, people are ready. We're ready for a change. We're ready to bring balance back into this world. It is about it returning. We used to live from that place. And we got away from it. So its return is here. And I guarantee you, I can tell from the energy that's going on, it's not going away. It's not going away. And this doesn't mean that men should feel threatened by this. Because men, once you bring in your own balance of your own feminine nature, not only do you have that wisdom and that power, but you have that love to balance it out as well. Just as we need the wisdom with our love as well. All about balance. Divine union. And this is where we're trying to get. We want to bring it all together. No more male, female, transgender. gay. No more labels. A union of all-encompassing oneness. No labels, no judging. That's what unity is here. To help us to remove these blocks, to bring this union back within us, to reestablish that with us. Just as God did. Rebirthing, mothering. And I pulled up some scriptures, and these are scriptures that I hadn't even heard. And just to show you how God cares for us and how he looks at us as his mother and father. God cares for his people like an eagle hovering over her young. Deuteronomy 32:11. God is concerned for his people like a midwife cares for the child she's delivered. Psalms 22:9-10. God will never forget his children like a mother will not forget her nursing child. Isaiah 49:15. God comforts his people like a nursing mother. It's kind of the same. Isaiah 66:13. So he stressed that twice in Isaiah. God experiences the anger of a mother bear who's been robbed of her cubs. Hosea 13:8. So God, listen to these beautiful words of motherhood. This nurturing, this caring God that knows of us, that knows of the balance that we need to have in our lives to bring this divine union. And for women to no longer fear of their power. We're all powerful. Don't fear your power. And men, don't feel threatened. Because when we come together and we work as a team, we are going to do the cosmic dance. Right? How does it feel when you're dancing all by yourself? So. But how does it feel when you grab a hold of another and you do the two-step with them or the tango with them or whatever? How does that feel? Do you feel union? Do you feel balance? So let's start to do the cosmic dance. Get rid of the divorce of the sexes, the separation of the sexes, and bring about the marriage of us all. And so it is. Namaste. So I wanted to have some time because I have this beautiful meditation and it's about 8-9 minutes long. So we're going to experience this meditation. So I want you to get comfortable in your seats, please. Let's put our feet on the floor. Kind of ground yourself. Stay connected to Mother Earth. And all these beautiful pictures of Mother Earth. Envision yourself as this tree rooted into her beautiful bosom. It's filled with love. Just root yourself right there with her. Feel her presence. Feel her energy of cleansing, of growth, of renewal, of rebirth, and nurture. Now let's just go within to the inner child for a minute. And just see yourself loving that little girl or that little boy that you were, that you still are. Just love them, hug them. Make them feel safe. Let them know that you're taking good care of them. Yes. So let's take some deep cleansing breaths. Just kind of settle down and relax. Relax. You release any tension you feel anywhere in your being. Just breathe into it, tighten it, and let it go. Surrender to the vibration of this beautiful meditation. In